His decades of leadership, philanthropy, and dedication to public service have made a lasting impact on New Jersey. John P. Keegan, Chairman and CEO of the Charles Edison Fund and the Edison Innovation Foundation, has been inducted into the Hall of Fame for public service. Under his guidance, the fund and the Edison Innovation Foundation have championed STEM education, funded groundbreaking community initiatives, and more. And to you, we say congratulations and welcome, John. Good to have you here.
Ken, good morning, and it's nice to be with you.
You bet. I want to see, when I go to Newark Airport, I want to see you up there, your picture now with all the other New Jersey innovators and people in the Hall of Fame. We got to have your picture up there. You deserve it.
Well, I'm
what
not
does this
so sure
induction
about
mean
that.
to you?
I don't know if New Jersey needs that, but they certainly need people like Thomas Edison in there and Governor Edison, his son.
Absolutely. Well, look. We are so blessed to have Thomas Edison, having been at the state and all he invented, everything from Black Maria, for those of us who studied film, to electricity and the light bulb, and all the everyday innovations we don't even think about that Thomas Edison was behind. So what does this induction mean to you?
Well, this induction means to me that I spent most of my life trying to give back more to the society than I take from it. And that's the only reason why society works. And Edison was the same type of person. He wasn't the typical entrepreneur. He didn't go out and try to make money. He made money so he could invent. And his example is very, very important to the New Jersey Hall of Fame because he was the first one that was inducted into it. But I think very few people recognize the fact that he was the only person that I know that was designated not as just the man of the last century, but the man of the last millennium, the person that contributed most to humankind for the past 1,000 years. And that's pretty significant. That was a tremendous article done by Life magazine on that. And when I look at it and I take a look at New Jersey and I look back, for the last 1,000 years, Edison did almost all of this in the last 125 years, and he did it right here in New Jersey and West Orange. So it's really an honor for me to run his foundations and his son's foundations. Charles Edison Fund, as you know, was Secretary of the Navy, and he was also governor of New Jersey from 1930, I believe, 41 to 43.
Amazing. And, there are detractors who love to say things like, well, Edison could have never invented the light bulb if he didn't have the filament that was invented by this guy. And I'm like, yeah, but who put it together and made it work and marketed it? Edison. You could say what you want. You could detract all you want. The reality is the reason why these things, these inventions, these creations that have innovated, changed our lives. The reason they're attributed to Thomas Edison is because he put it all together, made it work, and marketed it. And he did it wisely. And this is why we have what we have, things we use every day that we take for granted. The man was unbelievable. Just a brain that worked in a way that few human brains ever work.
Yeah, that's right. And he always believed that every idea was worth pursuing, but he was very, very adamant about the fact that he wanted to make sure that you translated the idea into something that was going to be good for humankind. Okay. In other words, it had to work, is what you're talking about, the practicality of it. And he never really had any obstacles that he thought were in front of me. If an experiment didn't work, he would take the data, put it aside, go to something else, and then 4 or 5 years later, come back to that same database that would enrich what he was doing up front. So, when you think about it, when he set up everything here in New Jersey, especially in West Orange, there were no precedents for that. There was no R&D in the world. He invented R&D. And his R&D, he not only translated to the private sector, but he introduced that into government, okay? And he was a big, very, very big part of the U.S. Navy. His son was Secretary of the Navy, and he was also chairman of the Naval Reserve Board, and that was going back to 1918. So what he left for us was a lot of encouragement, and he had a great saying, and his saying was, "There's a better way to do it. Find it." Okay. And if you take that every day in your life, okay, anything that you want to do, Ken, anything that your audience wants to do, think about that. They can improve what they're doing right now, and they can do it in a better way. The New Jersey Hall of Fame is really the embodiment of all these type of people that have the courage to take on something new, and they have the strength with which to see it to the end. And it's all for the improvement of the qualitative life of people. That's why I get excited about the New Jersey Hall of Fame, which is a terrific organization. And the people that run it and operate it, it's apolitical. It listens to everybody's views. It wants to educate the kids. You've got to come over and see the exhibit that we have there in the Meadowlands, which is phenomenal. It's very immersive and it's all interactive. The kids love it. People love it. It excites you. It gets you going in the right direction every day.
Yeah, one of my favorite singers of all time, Whitney Houston, is in that Hall of
Yes.
Fame, and I love Whit. I could still cry listening to that voice. Gone too soon, and a lot of people getting back to Edison. A lot of people don't realize that. I mean, the first I said TV. I meant to say film. The first film studio ever on the planet in history was right here in New Jersey, Black Maria, and it was. I mean, we don't even think about it, but that was one of the inventions. The film industry started right here, correct?
The film, the cradle for the film industry was right here in New Jersey. And then Edison had some problems with people, taking away his patent rights. Okay. So they all went to Chicago. Edison followed them to Chicago. Then he followed them to LA. And then they had a big litigation, went up to the Supreme Court. Edison won. All right. The cradle of the motion picture industry is right here in West Orange. It's the Black Maria. We have our foundation has the intellectual property rights to that. We market that worldwide. Right now, Governor Murphy had a program here in New Jersey to encourage people to come in and do the films, and that's very successful. Netflix is doing a very big project now, and we're going to work with all of them to highlight the fact that this is where it all started.
John, I need to cut you out only because we're at the end of the show right now, but I could have you on to talk about this 1,000 more times. I love it. He's been inducted into the Hall of Fame for public service. John P. Keegan, Chairman and CEO of the Charles Edison Fund and the Edison Innovation Foundation. Congratulations again. Thank you for coming on, and thank you for shedding so much information about Thomas Edison and what a great man he was for New Jersey and humanity. Have a great day and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Ken, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.